What's good, y'all? This your boy Rodrigue Cuts. Here I got this high drop fade with a slick back style. I want to start by appreciating my boy Anthony for that dope intro. To begin the cut, I'm going to start by creating a horseshoe sectioning just to separate the top lengths from the side. Diving right in, I'm going to start by dropping and contouring this guideline to the shape of his head with my gammas. This initial guideline is probably the most important one. It's creating this foundation. You know, if one side is uneven, then your whole fade is going to be uneven. If you bring that guideline too high, then the fade's too high. So, you know, pay a lot of detail and attention to creating that first guideline. It's the most important one. Next up, I'm gonna grab my clippers with the blade all the way open, creating about 1/2 inch to 1 inch guideline all around the head. And to knock that line out, I found it most efficient to just start off with it closed, bumping that line up just a tiny bit, open the clipper halfway open, and then bam, you got that line out. Moving on, I grab this one guard open, and I'm just creating another guideline, really trying to flick into the bulk as much as possible. And what I'm doing is getting this prepared for clipper over comb. My whole intentions with clipper over comb is to blend that one open into those top lengths. Usually it don't completely blend, but I usually would just go in and I detail with the 1.5 and the 2 guard, because what I want to do is skip the 2 guard and skip creating a whole nother guideline, so it's less work, and you know, I don't put another guideline in that I can't get out, or that's going to take more time to get out. When I jump into clipper over comb, I usually have my blade all the way open. I prefer this method opposed to it being closed, because let's compare it. If the blade is open, they're like thinning shears. It's gonna feather it more, and it's gonna create more of a softer look, opposed to the clipper being closed and like shears. Shears is gonna create more of a blunt line, and that's what I feel like the clipper is gonna do with its closed. So I prefer to have the blade all the way open and just give it a softer look. Right here, I'm flicking that 0 guard halfway open on my babbleless. I like using the babbleless because of the taper blade on there, and they also have the halfway mark on the guard, or excuse me, on the clipper, so it pinpoints exactly where that halfway mark is, instead of guessing if I was using like a magic clips or my seniors. I definitely recommend thinning shears, lighting up a lot of spots, touching up the fade. And the biggest part is the detail work. I like to throw on my purple magnetic guards with my speed lines, just because it has a ceramic blade. I could hear all the hair being cut, and I could always reach a lot of areas that I couldn't reach with my other clippers. So, you know, utilizing your tools and knowing what tools are used for what definitely is a primary factor when you're cutting hair. So to prepare this hairline, I'm coming in with a 1.5 guard close with the grain. I'm debulking it, getting it prepared to line up. I'm using a higher guard because I want the contrast from the hairline to be as dark as the perimeters on the side. If you look at where the fade is, it's very dark right there. And if you come in with a low guard or too low of a guard, and it's way lighter compared to the sides, then the fade's gonna look off. Like his hairline's gonna be way lighter than the sides of his fade. I'm gonna start by sectioning off the fringe of his hair and T-parting the rest of it, making sure the hair is, fully wet or damp, so the elasticity of the hair, and it's just easier to control when it is fully wet. I'm gonna go in, start my first guideline, and just travel that guideline all the way to the back, connect the sides, and bam, you know, we got a full even length on the top. On this, you know, I definitely say take your time, making sure you're fully stretching that hair out and you're getting the most even cut all the way around. And of course, coming back in and cross-checking it, getting all those loose hairs that you didn't get the first time. Stretching that skin, getting that blade as tight as possible in every area. Then for every service, I throw on a haircut. Of course, they getting a haircut. I throw on a hot towel with an essential oil drop right by their nose, just so they can smell something good while the hot towel relaxes on their face. I spread some Osiris pomade through the palms of my hand, got it all into my fingertips, and I'm just, you know, maneuvering my way through his hair, gliding it. I grab my wet styling comb and I'm just combing it through. I like the way these combs give the hair some flow, so you know, I'm pushing it through. Finalize this cut, giving it its finished touches, and you know, making sure everything's in place. Here we got the final cut. My boy's looking fresh with that high drop fade. Everything's flowing nice and smooth in the back. I want to thank and appreciate everybody that watched the video for tuning in.